everyone. I'm Alan Schimmel. I'm at KubeCon. You're not. You're watching Techstrong Gang. Or maybe you were at KubeCon and you're watching this after you were there. If so, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're here down in our KubeCon booth, N240. Too late. By the time you watch this, we'll be gone. But we're in N240, having a great time with 12,000 odd other cloud native aficionados. Welcome to our Techstrong Gang coverage of KubeCon. I'm joined by my two KubeCon
through your
compadres.
cohort.
We're a cohort now, or co-hosts?
Well, that too.
Okay. Mitchell says we're cohorts. I think cohorts have a different meaning.
Oh, okay. So they got, well, we are kind of, there's a shady part of this.
Yeah, there is something sketchy there about. Anyway, they're my co-hosts as well as cohorts.
I was going to go with partners in crime, but okay.
Cohorts.
I like sketchy.
Anyway, to my extreme left, he's not really extreme. Well, maybe. Future analyst Mitch Ashley. Hey, Mitchell, how are you?
Hey, good.
And the man in the middle. Yeah, okay. And then we've got the man in the middle. He's not going to do a man in the middle attack.
I hope not.
It's Chief Content Officer Mike Vizard. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Isn't there a song about something to the right of me and something to the left of me or something?
Stuck in the middle.
Stuck in the middle of you, yeah?
Yeah, something like that. I thought you were going to say riding in the desert with a horse with no name, but
there you go.
that was just a song I had buzzing around. Anyway, we've been at KubeCon too long. It's only day one. So, guys, what do you think?
Well, the conference is huge, and I've only been here actually one day, and I swear I've been lost 5 times. So,
well, the venue here is the Excel.
Yeah.
It blew me away yesterday when I was walking around, like trying to get my bearings.
I have a suggestion, though, for next year. I think they should just park the planes on the side. Yeah. And this can be a concourse and airport, all because there's an airport real close by, right?
I'm flying out of that airport.
Yeah, save us that train ride.
That would be nice. It is. What's interesting is, look, I got to give London a lot of credit. They've rebuilt. We went last night to dinner at Canary Wharf, which is a financial center now, but mixed-use residential and stuff, real nice. This area they're building like mad. You're a good way away from central London, but it's still, this is akin when in New York, remember, they started building Astoria and Long Island City and Brooklyn.
This is almost like if they built skyscrapers in Howard Beach outside of JFK.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Dumbo or
no, it's not Dumbo. Not Dumbo. But anyway, yes, it is a very big venue. There's 2 main rooms for the exhibits. We're in the north one. I haven't been over to the south yet. You can get lost. I like that they have food restaurants in the concourse too, though.
A lot of places to sit and chat and have.
Yes, there is.
That is awesome.
They've done a nice job. But anyway, let's talk about what are the big stories, Mike. Give us our three spots here.
Let's lead off with what Microsoft was talking about in the keynote, where they have a project they've been working on quietly called Headlamp, and it's a graphical environment for Kubernetes. And now, apparently, that's going to be given to the main Kubernetes open source project team and integrated into Kubernetes. And they're saying that this is how the next 10 million users of Kubernetes come to be, because they're going to use a familiar graphical tool. They may not have to have as much DevOps expertise to do that. It'll take a little bit while before that actually comes together. But on the one hand, I listened to that and I was thrilled. And on the other hand, I was like, what the hell took so long?
Mitch, would you like to go first on this?
Another dashboard. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Great. Look, that's my first reaction. It's like, okay, let's talk about how that fits into the work that happens.
Is it really a dashboard, or are they Windowsizing?
They're Windowsizing it, is really. It's a full graphical.
I made up a word in your copy.
There you go. I like this.
I feel like Ralph Cramden and Norton.
I would say, say what you will about Microsoft over the years. The one thing that they do really well is create graphical environments for things, especially. You look at Windows. It's a historically, it's
Mac ripoff. No, I'm only kidding.
but it's always been, a well-designed system for dealing with something that's a lower level of abstraction.
So I have a few thoughts. Number one, anything to make Kubernetes easier is a good thing. To manage the Kubernetes infrastructure, it's a good thing, and I applaud Microsoft for doing it. I'm a little unsure, though. Headwinds. Headlamp. Excuse me, I thought we were running into headwinds. Cohorts, you.
You're looking at
You cohorts. Anyway, headlamp. Is it its own project? Is this number project 203 for CNCF?
No,
or is it just part of the main Kube?
It's going right into the main Kube project.
It's like a package for Kube, similar like Linux distro packages.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a package yet. I think they're still sorting out how it goes into Kubernetes, but I think it's going to be core into the framework and not some one of 347 other projects that are running around the CNCF. That one seems to remember.
So here's the question about it. Is this a ploy to get more Microsoft customers using Kubernetes on Azure, right? Even though it's open source? Or, Microsoft has a very distinct look and feel in how it operates with its user interface, which is probably not going to be appealing to the latest Linux admin, right?
Au contraire, monsieur.
Oh, really? When did you become a Linux admin?
This is the year for Linux on the desktop. No, but
Yes.
but that being said, the fact of the matter is, Azure, it actually runs Linux predominantly.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
All right.
365 runs on Kubernetes. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so they.
My point was, is this really, because it's going to be very, very familiar to Microsoft customers, the UI, will it make it even easier for those customers to...
I think it will. I think it will, and I think you can't underestimate how many Windows users there are.
That's it. They already voted with their feet not to use Linux, so they clearly want something else.
Yeah.
But how many people would like a GUI for Kube?
I think the issue is there's not enough engineers. And so if I need people, and I'm going to have thousands and thousands of clusters, how am I going to manage that if I don't make it accessible to mere mortal IT administrators? And that's the only way we're going to get there is with some graphical...
It's an evil plot to get more people on Azure.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to necessarily be an evil, but it gives Microsoft customers an advantage. My point being, if you're already familiar with all the operational tools for Microsoft environment, now here's a GUI for Kubernetes that is going to look really familiar to you because you already know how we operate. Other folks are going to say, yeah, we're not a Microsoft shop. We're not used to, we're a Grafana, we're this or that or whatever. Okay, yeah, let me kind of use it, but it isn't just the natural plug and fit. I'm ready to use it.
So
That'd be my point.
So there's more at work here, though, right?
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's always more.
Order now.
So
Free shipping in hand.
at some point, that graphical environment is going to have AI agents all over it.
Yeah.
And what that looks like is going to be interesting to see, because right now I don't know if there's going to be like a super agent that manages all the other agents, like, the head butler from Downton Abbey who managed all the servants. Or is there going to be like, son of, what was the Microsoft thing where they had Clippy? Son of Clippy, and there's going to be like all these agents all over popping up saying, oh, well, can I help you with that? Or my turn to do that. And at some point the noise level gets too high. But I think what's going to happen is a lot of these tasks that we used to have an administrator handle will be handled by an agent that's being supervised by the administrator, assuming there aren't too many annoying agents. Mm-hmm. How do you see this playing out?
Well, again, I think that's another positive in Microsoft's direction, because as you're developing agents in an Azure Microsoft environment, it fits right into this open source project, the GUI, the plugin, the APIs, whatever you're using. I think it gives them an advantage. Now, whether that drifts and becomes a little less Microsoft-centric as an open source project, probably will. But I haven't taken a look at Headlamp yet to see if it's kind of thinking about agents and done that.
I don't think they're there yet, but I think that's probably coming. Next question is, will people who have grown up managing Kubernetes using CLI and YAML files give that up in favor of a graphical approach?
Oh, wait,
No.
let me think about that.
No.
I would do it in a heartbeat. What, are you kidding me? Who wants to play with YAML files like that?
No,
But-
they're not going to give that.
Yes, they are.
No, they
but let
aren't.
me tell you where you got off the tracks here, Kimasabi. Mark my words. Agentic AI and even generative AI marks the death knell for graphical Windows-based interfaces because even the greatest Microsoft users don't love the whole mouse window paradigm. I want to be Scotty. Hello, computer. That's what I want, and that's what people want. They don't want to maximize, minimize, mouse this, drag that. They just want to tell the computer what to do, and the computer does it.
Let me take the same place, but for a different reason.
Okay.
I think that the graphical UIs, yeah, if you don't like command line, yes, they're definitely better. Large volumes, large amount of functionality, large amount of data is still really difficult to do in a graphical user interface. And to your point, like, I want to bubble up the supervised tasks that I need the agent to run in collaboration with me, or knowing what triage it's already done so I can take the next step on this problem. It's kind of bubble to the surface in a UI, not now I can go search 8 million log records in one place across all my Kubernetes clusters.
I think you're right about Agentic taking this over, but I think it's the end of the GUI.
I think we'll know those boomers by their CLIs.
So you're saying graphical user interface is the acoustic coupler of user interfaces?
No, I'm saying
modems, by the way, if you don't know what that is.
No, but let's look at this, right? Wasn't Xerox PARC 1968, 71,
Early
something like that?
77.
71, 72. So it's been 25, it's been 50 something years since the paradigm of mouse and Windows became sort of like, the go-to way of interacting if you didn't want to use just a pure CLI. And I think people want and deserve better. We deserve better, and we're going to get better. I think agentic AI, generative AI, chat interfaces, better human-machine interfaces are finally capable.
Yeah, I think it's natural language is the UI.
Yeah, in
for
the natural
future,
language.
whether it's chatbot or
Yeah.
interface to any app.
So that's my take. And I'd like to invent that and call it headlight.
On behalf of the entire IT industry, I'd like to apologize for subjecting you to user interfaces and CLIs for the last 50 years.
Years. Well,
10 Hail Marys.
as they say, people vote with their fingers and feet, wallets.
quick.
So we'll see where that goes. All right, moving right along. We're going to take a break here at KubeCon. We've got our next block to go over. Mike, you want to give them a teaser?
Google.
Google. Don't Google that.
Don't Google.
We'll be right back with more. You're watching Techstrong Gang.
Discover Techstrong Group, the epicenter of tech innovation. We're your go-to for reaching IT leaders and practitioners worldwide. Our secret? Impactful content that sparks awareness, engagement, and top-quality leads. With us, you'll access editorial websites, streaming videos, virtual events, custom content, analyst research, and more. Join our satisfied clients. Let's revolutionize your tech journey. Contact us today and tell your story to the world in the most powerful way with Techstrong Group.
All right, folks, we're back, and yes, we're talking about what Google's doing here at the show. It's a public preview, so it's not quite ready for everybody, but they've got a new orchestration service that helps you manage fleets of Kubernetes clusters, and you can have more granular control over how infrastructure is allocated. And this, too, is another tool that I would say is long overdue. But what's interesting is that one of the reasons that they're so keen to do this is that they apparently are running out of infrastructure and they don't have enough data center capacity. And so now they're investing time and effort to make IT organizations consume stuff more efficiently. Heavens to Betsy, what a great idea.
So he didn't believe he thought Microsoft had malintentions. You swallowed that?
I'm just saying that, I don't think they would have said that 3 years ago. I think now they're like, holy moly, we got an issue here. We don't have enough capacity for all these people.
Well, I'm glad to see they admitted that at least. What do you think, Mitch?
I sat next to a gentleman from a very large financial institution, platform engineer, head of their engineering, who are running 12,000 Kubernetes clusters. This is globally, right? Global. Oh my God, how do you do that? So people are solving this some other way now. He did say, I can't wait till somebody introduces another open source project for me to use. So, I asked myself, why would Google do this? Right? Is it to increase adoption of Kubernetes? Probably not. Is it to increase adoption of Google Cloud services? Yes. Right? Bring it into our environment. Again, it's the same. It's the yes, you can use it wherever, but we've got it built into our fabric of services and tools, and it's all part of our cloud. Great. Scale it up as much as you want. To me, that's the motivation.
So,
go ahead.
So I come back to this full circle, same as the last conversation. They will inevitably put some AI agents in this thing, and so we're going to be able to automate the management of Kubernetes clusters at scale because
Gemini.
Yeah, a little Gemini, a little shake and bake, and then you throw it out there. And I'm not sure why this is even a separate service. This is more like a feature to me of when I buy the Kubernetes thing in the first place.
I want to appeal to our audience here. Let me ask you folks, are you sensing a pattern with my cohorts? Mitchell here thinks everyone does everything so they can sell more cloud services. Michael says it's only an intermediate step on the way to agentic AI nirvana. I think there's more to this world than those two things.
Really?
Yeah.
What else is there?
I think, Mitchell, yes, some of the biggest companies in the world can manage the thousands of Kubernetes clusters, but I don't think mere mortals can.
No. Very.
And I do think we need solutions for the rest of us. That being said, yes, companies do things that are in their self-interest, obviously. But if what they're pushing isn't in the best interest of users or doesn't have an appeal for users, it doesn't get adopted. Ultimately, the market is a cruel master, and it rewards things that work or are good, even if the underlying provider benefits from it.
Yeah.
I think if they were serious about, getting people to consume infrastructure more efficiently, there would be some sort of built-in FinOps capability that I can see what my costs really are in real time, and then I can make intelligent decisions, and then I could use this new service to dynamically scale things up and down in accordance with a cost meter that would let me figure out what I'm actually spending at a given moment. Because honestly, I don't think engineers and developers go out of their way to spend more than they need to. There's just nothing there for them to look at that says, wow, you could think about this differently. And so then they just, turn it up to 11 because it's like availability and I don't want to get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Connect the dots. If you're doing that through what Google provides, now you're aggregating all that data around a Kubernetes environment. You can now apply AI, other things to it to say, hey, let's auto size this, or let's recommend some ways to save money on services, or make your apps run more efficient, or resize the memory footprint of containers, whatever it might be. You've got all that you can apply. You've got all that data sitting right there in Google Cloud to do that with AI.
Sounds like another evil plot to sell more Google Cloud.
I don't know. I'll say what I said last time in the earlier segment. What the hell took so long? This has been a problem forever.
Have you guys been drinking?
We're just on rinse and repeat.
Yeah, you're. I feel like do I press button A or button B?
This is a 2 TV channel
Okay.
network.
Maybe maybe it just reflects that Microsoft, Google, and everybody else who's in that cloud business, the differentiation levels are zero.
Well, that's true. I think, and it's interesting, we're actually going to be interviewing AWS here in a bit. And I'm interested to see what they come out with to sell more AWS clouds and eventually introduce agents and what took them so long to do it.
Oh, now you know the 3 questions to ask.
They
Pretty much. How's it going to sell more cloud services?
to their credit, they just did integrate Amazon Q Developer with Amazon Open Search so that you could do agents for incident management, and they're on there. That's the second piece. They did one last year where they have an agent that kind of does some analysis through Q Developer. But, they're stitching all this stuff together through all these different existing services. And I'm kind of like, blow up the services already. People need like a capability and an outcome, not another thing to buy.
Or give the agent your credit card number and let it get what it needs.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question about this whole plot for world domination that you guys are on here. What about people who do multi-cloud? I don't want to buy a Google-only solution or a Microsoft-only solution or even an AWS-only solution. I don't want to be locked in.
There are multiple third-party platforms out there that do a lot of the same things. The only difference with Google is they're going to say, you already have an enterprise agreement with us, so you can use your credits for that to turn on the Google service, and we're only doing it as a service so we can keep track of how many credits you consume. But otherwise, I got to go buy a platform that's separate, install it, manage it.
Same with your FinOps.
Right. Same with my FinOps. Now, is there going to be an AI agent framework that sits above all these things and just sucks data out of these things, and they're all back-end services that I don't have to deal with in the future? Maybe, but I don't know who's going to step up and create that heterogeneous AI agent for IT management, but maybe it's a Kyndryl or some consulting company.
Well, there's also if the underlying thing you're managing is open source, why couldn't I use the Google tool to manage my Kubernetes running in AWS or Azure for that matter? I mean, maybe I don't have all the capabilities in that native environment, but I could still run it from my console, my whatever Kubernetes management orchestration tool operating out of Google's cloud.
I think it screams for an open source product that does this across multi-cloud and private cloud.
My God, another CNCF project?
Yeah.
What are you,
Let's
crazy?
talk about that. How many CNCF projects are there?
Let me submit this one, right?
Yeah.
There are more projects than stars in the sky.
Like sands in the hourglass.
Sands of time.
I mean, honestly, how many can you have at one KubeCon? How many can you actively manage and manage well?
That's a question they'll be asking forever.
How many of those projects are kind of here but orphans because they're just kind of hanging out on the edges of the thing?
No, I think it's something different. I think of baby birds in a nest.
Oh, you're going to kick the weaker ones out?
Well, if the one bird gets all the worms that mama and dada bring, that one bird grows much bigger and then commits sibling-cide or whatever the word is, killing your siblings.
This explains Big Bird.
Kind of, yeah. Big Bird had brothers and sisters. They were all medium birds.
They left that part out of Sesame Street.
They did. Well, that was cut when the censors came in. It was not rated G. But seriously, is this inhibiting the growth of CDF, Open Mainframe, OSSF, everything except PyTorch?
Open telemetry.
Open telemetry is part of CNCF, but our other foundation.
Oh, I see other foundations.
Because all the projects come here.
So in theory, the fact that all these projects are under the same consortium is supposed to promote cross-pollination of contributions across that, but it doesn't seem to be actually happening. And
no, some of them are directly competitive.
But hasn't
How
the
many
market,
meshes? do
hasn't
you
the
have?
market spoken? Do we need a whole bunch of different consortiums underneath? Or we can aggregate it into CNCF? Do we really need these other?
Do we need a CNCF if you have a Linux foundation?
Yeah.
Or they announced today, we did an interview on it if you want to watch. Open Infra Foundation is now becoming a top level foundation
Right.
with LF. That's the OpenStack and stuff. So
Consortium consolidation. It's coming next,
do we
right?
need that,
I
or not, or does every open source project deserve its own foundation, its own infrastructure, its own everything?
Well, that seems a lot excessive, redundant, because you got lawyers for each one, and there's all marketing, PR people. There's all this back end stuff that these projects need. So that should be kind of a shared service. In my mind, it's a question of how do I get the engineering talent to kind of work on these things more collaboratively so that they are consumed more easily. In fact, one of the things I was telling about service meshes, the latest CNCF research is out, and the percentage of people using a service mesh actually dropped and the assumption is that it's just too hard. You know?
There's a lot about Kubernetes and stuff that is too hard. Someone should invent some sort of Windows interface for that.
Right. Or get all these engineers together to work on
Get agentic AI.
They all have a common problem.
Sell more cloud services.
This stuff is too hard, it's too complex. By the time I stand up the whole stack, I got to be like, I need 5 geniuses to do that. I mean,
Well, that brings me to another announcement today. What's it called? The Golden Kube?
the golden Kubernetes or something.
Golden Kubernetes. Did you read about
No,
this
I
one
didn't.
yet? Well,
Oh,
here's the
behind
deal.
times on this one.
If you go take 14 or 16 certifications,
13
Oh my
from the CNCF and 1 from the Linux Foundation.
okay, 14 certifications, they give you like a Wonka golden ticket. I don't know what you do with your Wonka, but a golden ticket, and you get 50% off to KubeCon for life.
And a swag.
You get swag.
You can give, you get discounts on renewing your certificates, or you can give those discounts to your colleagues.
Yes.
Or you can, and then I think they have, you get like 50% off for one of those, days they have around the world where they.
You also, you get discount certificates for more education too.
Probably a
Forgot.
t-shirt.
No, better than a T-shirt. You get a goldenized image of yourself on their website.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So now thinking that through, like how much.
I'm not kidding.
It's true.
I'm not kidding. It's true.
And you
You
get
can't make this up.
and you get unique clothing that only you can wear.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, and you can charge your own tariffs on, open source projects or something.
So here's the thing.
Only I could charge tariffs.
Here's the thing I was trying to figure out. Like, how much time and effort would it take to get those certificates?
The golden Kubernetes.
Because a lot of them actually you have to show and demonstrate hands-on capability. Like half of them are kind of like, log in here and take the test, and
Sounds like CCNA at Cisco.
Right, but
it sounds like one of those kind of.
But many of them are like you actually have to show hands-on expertise, so you can't fake it, kind of thing.
I imagine there can't be more than a handful of people.
Well, right. I think right now they said there's 14 of these people who are these new class of.
Golden not cosmonaut. That's Russian. Kubernetes.
Is there a secret ceremony where you can make it into the
I
Yeah.
don't know.
higher echelons of
Yeah.
this?
Now there are other Kubernetes. These are golden Kubernetes. Kubernetes they launched last year is like I think you have to get 5 certificates for that one. So a gold.
What do you like? An iron Kubernetes at that point?
They haven't said anything about whether these are
brass?
bronze
A
or
brass
silver, but-
Kubernetes?
It was like Super Sugar Kubernetes or something, new cereal from.
No, this is real. This is real.
Okay. All right.
Hey, congratulations to those 14 golden Kubernetes, and I cannot wait to see how many more people join the ranks of the golden Kubernetes between now and, let's say, Atlanta.
I think there's actually like 1,100 Kubernetes already. So
But not golden.
not golden. There's only like 14 of those.
There you go. You heard it here first. The things you learn on Techstrong Gang. We're going to take a break. We have a third block if you want to stick around. We're here at KubeCon.
SecurityBoulevard.com is the leading resource for news, analysis, and education on challenges facing the cybersecurity industry. SecurityBoulevard.com covers all aspects of cybersecurity, including data security, DevSecOps, cloud security, application security, network security, security threats, and more. SecurityBoulevard.com has the largest selection of security content, featuring breaking news, blog posts, podcasts, and more. Visit www.securityboulevard.com to learn more. SecurityBoulevard.com, home of Security Bloggers Network.
All right, folks, we're back for our third segment, and no trip to Cloud Native Con is complete without the discussion of Observability Day, which again took place this year. And coinciding with that, Grafana Labs has their annual report out, and it shows that, well, 75% of folks in an open source community are using Prometheus and OpenTelemetry, which may not come as a surprise given the open source community here. But one of the things that came clear in the Grafana survey is that people were really cost sensitive about observability, and the issue was that I don't know if they love Prometheus exactly, or if they just feel like, it's the other platforms are too expensive. I got to hire people to set them up. I got to curate all the data. And, Grafana is making a case for more of a schemaless approach that doesn't require you to curate data. But you've been tracking this space. What's going on from your perspective?
Well, so observability is a data management problem, right? The massive amount of data that's being collected into one observability platform or whatever the product is. But that also means transformation of data, right? Because it's not all coming in native format out of OpenTelemetry. It's going through other agents and tools that you're combining all this stuff. That's a lot of work, Developers don't like messing around with just overhead of transforming data. So I can see why people would stick with just OpenTelemetry and Prometheus and then say now you might ask why Grafana's interest is putting a dashboard on top of that. But I'm not surprised actually to hear that. That said, there are many others. I mean, it's a big market for observability. So it's not like everybody's doing this and only a few are running a third-party commercial product. So is it really the exception or the rule?
So, quite John.
Oh, au contraire.
No, I was doing my Kung Fu grasshopper, Jean, whatever his name
Okay.
was. I have a differing opinion on that.
Okay.
Number one, I just want to point out that though yesterday there was a observability day, it was not the biggest event of the satellite events yesterday. Platform engineering was, which I think is quite a mark.
There's a statement.
It's a big statement why we have platformengineering.com and not observability.com. But that being said, the issue with observability is, yes, data storage is expensive and where everybody's always trying to slice that somehow. The real reason why they're all using OpenTelemetry and Prometheus is because none of the commercial providers have distinguished themselves from the other commercial providers to make a good case why you should pay those exorbitant fees when they're all Prometheus and OpenTelemetry under the covers anyway. If there was a really great observability platform, you wouldn't see 80% plus of the market using these tools. But I think a lot of engineers and teams look at it and say, if I just use the open source tools, no matter how clunky or harder to use they are, I'm getting 85% of the functionality I get from these commercial vendors that are an arm and a leg. And for that kind of money, I'll suffer a little bit.
Don't you think we're in an untenable situation? Because if
Tenable has an observability.
yeah, well, yes,
So it's not untenable.
not intended, but untenable. We're in a situation. I mean, how many observability platforms products are there? I mean, it takes two hands at least to
No,
count
I
them.
mean, but that's
So if that-
another indication that none of them are that much better.
Well, but why hasn't that sorted out yet? Well, why aren't we seeing? Of course, Splunk got bought by as a security platform for Cisco, but you don't see observability companies getting bought left and right or collapsing, folding in. Are we headed to that? Is that where it's headed?
Well, according to Grafana, there are actually 101 technologies that are technically come under the heading of observability.
Oh my God.
Now, how they
Okay.
counted that, I don't know.
All right.
But
Is that like Dalmatians?
I guess, maybe. But the issue in my mind becomes, it's the tools. I think people are using open source tools because I don't have to sign a check for somebody. I don't got to go get somebody to prove that. A developer downloaded Prometheus and started using it, and that became kind of a quasi-standard. But the problem is, whether it's the commercial ones or the open source ones, by the time I get this thing rolling, I need data engineers, I need developers to go play with Grafana dashboards and set all that stuff up, and then I got to maintain all that on top of that. This is like a DevOps project that lives forever just for this one little task. And I got to ask myself, do we really have the right answer here for observability, or have we kind of like been throwing crap at it all this time and not really solving the problem?
Well, open source isn't this magic nirvana of now I don't need all these people. You need actually a lot more people
Sure do.
as opposed to outsourcing it. So
But Mitchell, people have always been short-sighted. They look at the price tag of the software,
Well-
not the total cost of ownership.
how can I bring this in the door? Yeah, exactly.
Because, well, employees are a sunk cost, man. We're a given.
I get it. I get it. I'm just trying to picture to myself, you asking yourself, why are we doing this?
I'm not sure I ever wake up and have that conversation, right? I think most people go to work and just keep doing the same thing over and over again because that's what they were hired to do and inherited. I don't think it would be, I think there's a lot of things in IT that we need to take a giant step back and say, hey, are we doing this because that's the way we always did it? Because
Yes.
if that's the answer, it's probably wrong.
But I think, nevertheless, it is what it is. I know a lot of people do that.
Now, don't you think this is really a plot by the cloud providers to drive more business into Google?
But if it is, it's un-American, and I'm not going to be part of it.
But then they just build more agents.
There's a whole universe inside their thumbnail, man.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
So you're saying this is a cloud storage conspiracy?
Yes, yes.
Well, look, I do think storage is an issue. It has been an issue, continues to be an issue. I think there are some companies with some interesting, like, read it on the fly and only store what we think you need. But who trusts them?
And the other issues, the truth of the matter is you don't need to store all this data. There's only a subset of the telemetry data that you need to keep for any kind of long period. And if you do need to keep it for a long period, to your point, you throw it up on an S3 bucket somewhere. But the amount of data that you need active for observability is relatively small, but nobody has the time to go and figure out, exactly what logs, what traces, and what metrics.
This sounds like an AI job, an
It
AI
could be.
problem.
It could be. Could be
See,
another
told
thing
you.
for an AI agent.
More cloud, more AI agents. We're back, full circle.
We've been here before.
AI agents is the answer. What was the question?
Doesn't make a difference. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Will the squirrel buy it? Will Natasha and Boris? No. I don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but it probably won't be AI agents and selling more cloud. We hope you've enjoyed this. What are we doing? Techstrong Gang here at KubeCon. We've got a lot more coming your way. Stay tuned. We'll be here for 2 more days. But for now, on behalf of selling more cloud services and an AI agent coming to you, I'm Alan Schimmel, and we're out.